Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. Been trying to get this young couple on the show for a while. We have Seiry and Jon Colley. They're part of the Jon Colley Team, and they also have the Real Estate Virtual Academy. We're going to talk about making your dream a reality. I took that right from one of their pages. Had to do with homes, but they're in real estate, so of course it had to do with homes. But we're going to learn all about them and kind of their journey. I think this is a very interesting time in the real estate world and the world in general. So it's always great to get different perspectives. And they are a married couple team. Welcome, Seiry and Jon. How are you all
Hello,
today?
Ted.
Hey Ted, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. You guys look great. Your lighting looks much better than my lighting right now. So you look amazing. And I'm just excited to have you on the show. So I told you before we went live that the audience, they love to know origin stories. So they want to know a little bit about you, maybe some of your background. And of course, they want to know about your journey to real estate. So give us a little 411 on that journey. And we're going to start with Seiry, of course, ladies first.
Absolutely.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. To be honest, I back 23 years ago, I decided to relocate to Florida with my two boys when I had first lost my first husband to a tragic accident. And so I decided to start new. I was a paralegal for a big law firm on 42nd Street. And I was supposed to go to law school. And I decided that my kids needed more attention of me. So I moved down to the Orlando area. And while I was in the Orlando area, I decided to get into something that would give me flexibility so that I can be with my kids, not have a 9 to 5 job. So I began a new construction cleaning company, which I was working with big builders in the Orlando area. And then my husband now, I met him when I went to get my pool design because I was building a new house in Kissimmee, Orlando area. And so I walked into his place of business, and that's how I met Jon. We became friends because he designed my pool. And from there, we became, we started dating, and he decided to join me, and we made the company even bigger, the new construction company. After 8 years of conducting that business, we decided to get into real estate. And so we sold that business, and we decided to get into real estate because we wanted to help people. I mean, we love interacting with people, and we enjoy helping people, and we love when they repeat. Well, not only that, it's just that when they ask us, "You did such a great job. I'm going to refer you to other people." That matters to me more than anything else.
It's a
And
big
so,
deal.
excuse me?
It's a very big deal when you
Yes, it
get
is. It
repeat
sure is.
business because that means that you did something right and that they are comfortable and happy and thrilled with how you treated them. I have to ask, and then I'll ask Jon to give us his background. Why real estate though? You were in the large cleaning, correct?
Yeah,
So
new construction.
new construction. Okay, so how did you decide real estate would be for you? Did you have a lot of friends in it? Did you have family in it? Or did you just see it because of the industry that you were in?
Well, it's a funny story, Ted, now that you asked, because we had a realtor that was helping us out, which, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to name names. And we lost a couple of $1,000s with her. She wasn't in the best interest of her client, which was Jon and I. And Jon and I said, if she can do that, and, I think we can do a better job to serve the community, with honesty and integrity. And that's why we decided to get into real estate, to help people. It's not about only the money. It's about helping people. And that's what we've been doing ever since, is helping people.
I love it. All right, Jon, you give us a little bit of your background. I heard pool design and all of that. So tell us a little bit about you and how your journey transpired.
Well, I'm a true Floridian. That's where I was born and raised here in Florida. But I ventured off in the Marine Corps at age 19, and 20 years later, I retired. And in Florida is where I actually retired at. And got a little job working designing pools at a local pool company. And one day, this lady comes walking in with her two children, and my heart jumped out of my chest, and we've been inseparable ever since. The real estate thing is a little extra added thing to that because we got into it because Siri goes, you know what, I've always wanted to go into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, the market had crashed. I mean, we're talking about 2007, 2008. And we're talking about, that was the time people were leaving real estate. And she says, let's go into real estate. You know, we work together. We create a big company together. You know, I always want to go into real estate. Let's go into real estate. And I said, are you crazy?
Yes, he did.
And
I bet he did.
I said, this is the worst time to go in. She says, yeah, but we'll do it together. And whatever we do, we'll be a success at it. And she was absolutely right. I mean, it was the best time to go in because people were leaving. We had to fight through the short sale, the foreclosure. We had to really, really hustle to get out there and make ends meet and everything. But we did it and made us stronger, made us wiser. And we actually got a lot of repeat clients from it because we helped them through that very trying time. And so now we reap the benefits.
Yes.
I think, first of all, thank you for your service. Honestly, I mean that, for your service in the Marine Corps.
My pleasure. And
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have a big heart for veterans. I think that what's interesting about your story is a lot of times the most successful people start in those crazy times where everyone is getting out. I know a lot of people who got into it around then, and they are actually still around. But the ones who got into it before, where they were basically printing money before the whole world crashed, a lot of those people are not in it anymore. So kudos to you all. I know that was a trying time because I owned several businesses during that were real estate related, and I just remember feeling so awful for all of my real estate friends, my lender friends. It was a very crazy time. So flash forward, we had a last couple of years, 2021 being just an insane year, unlike anything I've seen before. I think that, what's your perception on that? Because I'll tell you mine really quick, and then I'd love to hear from both of you. 2021 spoiled a lot of people. There was a lot of order takers again. People were able to make money without very little effort or customer service. 2022 began to shake the foundation of that. And so we saw a lot of changes at the end of first quarter last year. How have you all adjusted? What's been is your model the same? Have you had to make adjustments? Because I have a lot of real estate professionals who come on, and I'm always fascinated to see how they did it, how they persevered, and how they treat it. So I'd love for you guys to give me insight on how you all handle that.
Well, first off, you have to keep an eye on the market. What a lot of agents do is that they dabble into it, and there's nothing wrong with that because they have to put food on the table. But you really need to be focused on what the market is doing and not what it's doing right now, but what the forecast is really looking at going. Because otherwise, you get called and you've missed a great opportunity. With the change the market, and I think all successful real estate agents has read the book, Shift. You always got to be prepared to be able to shift in market because it is constantly changing. And when you see the signs that a shift is occurring, you got to be able to adjust to it. It could be a major shift. It could be just a minor shift. And what you tweak or what you totally change is really going to depend on what you reap out of it. The market we were in back, 2 years, a year and a half, where you're actually chasing properties around. We hated that market.
We did.
We actually hated it. When you're having to go out and put in multiple offers and everything, it's just
on
crazy.
20 houses.
On
sometimes.
20 houses, it's just ridiculous. So actually, what we're seeing now is more of a normal market of where it was back maybe 3 years ago, pre-COVID, I guess you could kind of say. So we just kind of roll back into how the market goes. You roll with the punches. So market's going to change, and you just got to be prepared for it and have the experience and the foresight to know about it. And that's what I'm seeing with LPT Realty is that the foresight of way the market is going to be played out. You've got to look at that.
Yeah, let's talk.
It's educating us, which is great. I mean, it's always good to learn, even if you have 16 or 20 years of experience. It's always good to learn good, different tips.
I agree. I think education is everything, and staying on top of the market. And if you don't understand the market, learn it so that you can figure it out and pay attention to it. You mentioned LPT, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about that. That's a big shift. That's a newer real estate company that was launched earlier 2022. And so why the shift? What was your reason? I'm curious.
That's a funny one.
That's a funny one.
That's a funny story.
I mean, total caveat. I've known Robert for a long time, so when
Amazing.
I get asked this question a lot myself.
Mhm.
So I'm always fascinated by the answer, and it's always different as to why realtors have moved over to LPT. What was your thought process behind
Well, we weren't going to move.
Oh,
We
no.
were very
Oh, no.
happy. We were like family with the broker that we were with, and we were with him for close to 7 years, and it became like family. So it was really hard for us to leave. But once we sat down on one of those lunch and learn, and we heard them speak about LPT and everything it was offering its agents, we just, I mean, who can say no? I mean, it is just so much. And then every question we had at the lunch and learn, they answered. I mean, they even had the attorney, Furman. I mean, he was there, and John had so many questions, and John just asked, and you have to be very thorough when it comes to John. And I mean, he answered everything to the T. And that's when I looked at John, and I didn't think, because he was very adamant to leave.
I was a no.
You were a no.
I was a no. We're not going.
We're not going.
Well, we started off with some big box brands. I won't mention any names. And then we found this boutique broker in Tampa, and wonderful broker, wonderful individual. And of course, real estate agents, we get approached all the time about, oh, come join our brokerage. We have the greatest thing since Jello, blah, 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 blah. And we've heard all of them. We've seen and experienced it. And I said, there's nothing that's going to pull us away, because I'm very content where I'm at. I'm happy with our broker. No, Seiry, I'm not going to this thing. And she said, oh, come on, we'll just go and we'll get a free sandwich or something, And I'm like, okay, honey.
Ellie and Vince are gonna kill me now.
Here we go, honey. All right, we'll go. And as I'm sitting there, I mean, when the very first thing that came out of their mouth, all of a sudden it got my attention.
Yes.
And after that, it's just started checking off all the boxes in my head, and then it started creating more boxes that kept being checked off. And so when we left there, we stopped and had lunch.
Yeah.
And Seiry goes, so what do you think? What do you think? And I said, it's a no-brainer.
Wow.
And she says, what do you mean? I said, we're moving to LPT.
Yep.
I'm good with it. And she says, well, when? I said, right now. Called the broker and said,
I mean, it's just so much. I mean, you got the 100% commission. You got the split 80-20. It's an option to us. You got stock options. You got revenue share plan. We have free marketing material. I mean, it's just so much. I can go on with so many things that it's offered at LPT, which we didn't get with our broker. And no offense to our broker, because he was wonderful. I still, I adore this man. Yeah. But it was just so much. The training, the mentorship. I mean, it was just... we couldn't say no. And
we've seen all the different types of plans out there. We've experienced it. And so when we've seen this is totally revolutionary. And we saw how we could grow our business, because as a real estate professional, this is your business. So you have a fiduciary responsibility to your business, your real estate business. That's our real estate business that we do. And our fiduciary responsibility is, how are we going to grow it? And how can we position our business in line to be able to leverage, as well as what risk do we have to take? And the leverage was just totally overwhelming. And the risk for making a move was minimal or none, really.
Yeah.
And it was just, like I said, it was just absolutely no brainer.
Yeah.
I love it. I love hearing that story, because I think a lot of people, obviously, most of the comments I get, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. Ted, it's not true. And I just encourage everybody, it doesn't matter to me where you look, but if you're looking, look and evaluate. That's what people should do. And I've had many, many, many stories of similar stories about why people moved, had no desire, John, went begrudgingly to that lunch and learned, Didn't want to go to the
You said
party.
go, I went. So here we are.
You know what? That and look, life changing. So,
But it took some convincing. It took some convincing.
To get me in there.
Yeah, to get him there. At least through the doors and sat down. He was still like, no, this is not gonna. This is.
And
too
now
difficult.
life changed. So
Yeah,
talk. So I also I really want to talk about the Real Estate Virtual Academy. It's one thing you all are doing real estate and building a team, a new company. Now you have the Real Estate Virtual Academy. So tell us about that and why. I love to know the why. Why do you want to have an academy? Why do you want to have a school?
Well, real briefly, as could possibly be, which I'd get kind of long-winded. I was teaching some classes at that little boutique brokerage, and I was approached saying, why don't you actually teach? So I ended up getting an instructor license and went to teach for a local real estate school here in Tampa. And I got great reviews from my students. It was really a great experience with it. But one night I got approached by a student saying, John, when I'm sitting in the class, it's like, where's John taking me on this subject?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get that aha moment. I got it. And he says, and that's just it. While I'm here, I get it. He says, but as soon as I walk out of that door, it goes, it leaves me. He says, I really wish I could carry you everywhere I go.
Yep.
And that's where it sparked the Real Estate Virtual Academy, because see, the pass ratio for a real estate first exam and even second exam is about a 50% on the state exam. And I said, that's doing these students really injustice. There's got to be a better way. So when this guy told me, hey, I wish I could carry you everywhere I went, that's when the light bulb went off. And that's why we created a school that you can actually have a real instructor teaching you real estate anytime, anywhere, from any device. From your smartphone, laptop, desktop, tablet, to have an instructor there to teach. Because prior to that, what you had either a online course where you had to read a bunch of stuff, maybe a little bit of audio, but no one there to actually tell you, explain to you how this stuff works, or it was the inconvenience of actually going to a classroom.
Now, or he would get jealous that at the end of the course, they would bring me presents and not him.
Oh, yeah.
It was just the jealousy thing. And this is a debate I'll have to say that I die. He was just jealous that they would bring me gifts and bring me cards and gift certificates, and he got nothing.
Nothing. I got a good review, great review actually. But yeah, and I'm like, well, what the heck? I mean, well, you get something I'm not. I mean, I'm standing up here teaching for 63 hours, But with the Real Estate Virtual Academy, we refer to her as Riva. We actually developed the course. Our publisher wasn't available here in Florida at the time, so we created the course in Alabama first. And it was the best thing we could have possibly done, because Alabama requires that you have to teach distance education. You have to be a certified distance education instructor. In other words, you had to be processed through a thing called ARELO. It's Association of Real Estate Licensing Law Organization. And so what it did, it made me a better instructor. Even though I did instructing when I was in the Marine Corps, I actually went through the learning classes and structural platform instruction, everything else. But going through this process in Alabama actually helped me create a better course. So then when the publisher says, hey, we got the book in Florida, I was quickly moved it over to there and applied the same thing, which made the course so much better. And the course has gotten great reviews, great results. And now we've got moved into Georgia. So we're in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. Got licensed now, our instructor license in Tennessee. We're working on getting ready to go into Illinois and Tennessee with the school. And then we're moving into Virginia and the Carolinas. So the school is getting, like I said, great reviews, great response. People are loving it because it provides them that hybrid between an actual live classroom, because you have someone there, as well as an online. Now there's that mediocre thing in the middle called streaming. Streaming, though, is that you have to actually be in front of a computer logged in at that time, like, a Zoom class. But with this, you can log in at any time from anywhere, and your instructor is there ready to teach you real estate.
I have been the only part of the business I have not done is being a realtor. But on the lending side, I'm aware of how absolutely frustrating the whole getting your license and the continuing ed afterward can be, because you all have to go through much more school than I do. But you also have a post 45. Like, there's a lot going on. I can't imagine sitting online and just reading that for myself without some sort of human interaction, or at least listening to somebody. So I think it's very creative. Where did you get the idea that you wanted it to be virtual? Is it because you wanted to expand the business, or because you knew that you could create those lessons in a manner that would be good for people who want to get the license but can't take all that time off work?
Well,
Is that sort of your thought process?
Well, keep in mind that this idea and the start of this came before COVID.
Mhm.
So this wasn't like something that was created during COVID. This was something that actually started back before COVID. So the virtual part came into play because, like I said, that student says, I would like to be able to carry you everywhere I go. So to do that, it would need to be a virtual. Otherwise, you could just take an online course. So it gave it that hybrid feel of it, because I would ask students when I did the live classrooms, I would ask them, why this class? Why now? And a lot of them said, well, I took an online class, but I couldn't understand it. There was no one to ask questions.
Right.
So, it says it's convenient, but I need someone to teach me. So therefore, you have the ones that go into the online because it's so convenient.
Yeah.
Well, what if you could mix the two together? And that's what this does. It mixes the classroom in with the online. So it is convenient, but it's also efficient because you actually have that instructor that's going to explain things to you. And if you have questions, you simply, from the portal, message your instructor.
And they love that.
And they love that, to be able to have, and then when someone actually calls our number, and I end up picking up because I have a rollover number to my cell phone, and they say, this is Jon? Jon, oh my gosh, I'm actually talking to my instructor. And they get so excited about it.
It's pretty
And
fun.
It is. And it's still, so it keeps that personal relationship that with the student and instructor, like you would have in a typical classroom, except you have access 24/7.
I think a lot of people ask me about being in real estate, and so you always want to tell them the truth. But I feel like this is one of those times where a lot of people who were order takers are getting out, and so there's a lot of opportunity. If you're saying the sky's falling, I think you're missing out on the opportunity here. It's kind of like when you all joined back in the craziest time I think I've ever experienced. But I love the fact that you can't make up your passion for helping people, whether it's new potential realtors or your buyers and sellers, and that is palpable. And that is why we do these kinds of shows, because I want people to see that passion, to hear it. I want to be a realtor now. No, nobody get all crazy. I'm just.
I gave it to a
You're gonna be a dancing realtor.
God help us all if I. But I want to give you kudos, because I think your passion, it comes out, and that's what I want people to hear. Whether they want to join your team at LPT, or whether they want to become a realtor and use Riva, whether they want to learn more about the real estate world. I think you all share your heart and soul, and it was apparent here, and I appreciate that. So tell them the best way they can find out more about you, find out more about about Riva. What's the best way they can reach out to you all?
Well, for the real estate, if you're looking at buying or selling a home, you can reach us at 813-481-0588. Or you can contact us at colleyteam1@gmail.com. So that's for the real estate.
And I'm just a sidekick, but if you want to speak to me,
call her.
Then you can call me at 813-766-2009. Usually they do call me. They don't call him.
I bet. You guys are amazing. I am so happy that you agreed to come on the show. I think we need more.
Well, we appreciate it,
Yeah,
Ted.
and you've got our website there for both the real estate as well as the school.
We offer, excuse me, we offer the 50% off for LPT for all the agents that are bringing and building the team to come on board.
Yeah.
It's the code LPT50.
And if other brokerage firms would like to talk to us about discounts as well, we'd be happy to discuss that with them as well. So,
Love it.
because we're not just with LPT when it comes to real for the school, we're open up for everybody. Because we really feel that we can actually benefit the real estate community and teach them and get them off on the right step.
You will. That's why I really believe your passion again is palpable, and people respond to that. And that's, I believe that is you're putting out good in the world, and so you're getting good back. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it wasn't.
We had a great time. You all reach out to Jon and Seiry. They're just as amazing in person as they are on the show. It's you can find them on social media, but you can also go to either of the websites, or you can reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with them. If you're thinking about getting into real estate, you should reach out to them. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you both so much for being on the show.